Well, good afternoon, everybody. On a completely unscheduled live stream at the moment, anyway. I hope everyone's doing well. I haven't had a chance to do one from the office on my own for a hot minute. Hey, KP, what's going on? So this is kind of going to be a bit of an ad hoc, off-schedule summary of a few news articles from around. Hey, Cat Attack, The Watchman, welcome, welcome. I'm going to kick it off. I guess you know what I'll do? I'm going to use the same format that we had in the, hey, it's Vision Preparedness. By the way, Vision will have Prepping with Sarge tonight. So we had him on the Horseman, and he's supposed to be on at 7 my time, I think 8 o'clock y'all's time. Vision, I might have it backwards. But anyway, go check him out. Doesn't look good to me. No peace. Yeah, no, there is no peace. And part of the problem is negotiating peace treaties to countries at war who hate each other is not easy. It's 8 p.m. your time. Okay, I was making sure I didn't have it backwards. So, folks, I've been watching the news, and so you guys have read about the different. Not Manuel Noriega, that was the guy from Panama, Abrego, that he got arrested and then he got deported, but then they brought him back and then they arrested him again, but then they let him go. And they were threatening to take him into custody and send him to Darfur in Africa. I think it was Darfur. And that made no sense because he's like an El Salvadoran. And so then everyone got confused. And so I started digging into this. And apparently there are a lot of migrants being sent to other countries. And the irony is a lot of these countries don't want them back. And so I found this article where, hey, Neil, what's going on? Hello. So according to this is on ABC News, and I'm showing the screen so you can see it. So in Cape Town, South Africa, Rwanda has become the third African nation to receive deportees from the United States as the Trump administration expands the program to send migrants to countries they have no ties with. And this didn't make much sense to me. I know El Salvador has CCOT, which is kind of a Western counterterrorism prison. And so there's kind of a different agreement for what's in El Salvador. You know, you have that that CCOT prison where they shave their heads, march them around, and there's an agreement between several countries who contribute to it to use it. So it's kind of like a Gitmo, but it's out in the open. They don't torture; it's like a supermax prison. But this, I was wondering, why are they sending so here anyway, Rwanda did say earlier in August it agreed to take up to 250 deportees, but declined to say when. Two other African nations, South Sudan and Eswatini, have already accepted a small number of deportees from the U.S. in what has also been secretive deals. And Uganda, Uganda was the other one, said last week it would agree in principle to take some deportees. But three of them want to return to their home countries, while the other four wish to stay and build lives in Rwanda. Said the Rwandan government didn't say where the deportees were held. So I'm not sure what's going on with sending, okay, it's fair enough, you know, you want to get these guys out of the country, but why are we sending them to like a completely different continent from where they came from and dump their prisoners on them? Well, yeah, and a lot of these did. And Neil, that's a valid point, because Castro did the same thing in the 70s, if you all recall. After he took power, the Muriel boat lift, he told the Cuban people, you can go to America. And then what he did, he released all the prisoners, and many were political prisoners, right? But there were also sociopaths and murderers and child abusers and all that other fun type of person. And he sent them all to Florida. And Florida and the U.S. South fought with that for years, trying to get all these guys cleaned up. So it's, hey, Sway, what's going on? So it's oh yeah, it is a good weekend. It's really nice out here. And that's the thing. The Watchmen, it makes me wonder, what is it about these people? Because it's not everybody, right? A lot of them, like they're from Mexico, they just send them back to Mexico. They bring them to El Paso and go home, and be gone. And Colombia is taking theirs back. So why are they sending some of them to freaking Uganda? Like, that makes zero sense to me, but that may be indicative that something else is going on. Hey, little lone, how are you? So hold on. Woo, the chat just jumped on me here. So in any case, I thought that was interesting to see that kind of change in the way we're managing this stuff. Now, on the flip side, the mayor of Washington, D.C. actually admitted that with the ICE and with the National Guard and all the drama, and everybody's been upset about it because it's kind of squeaking on a legal line as far as posse comitatus. They actually admitted crime went down a bunch, like in the double digits across the board, across categories. So on the one hand, it's good. But on the other hand, it's super strange, like, what in heaven's name is going on? Why are we sending people here? Hold on just a second. Oops. Well, can't go well. Trying to call me. Anyway, so really interesting. I was, because it's not U.S. citizens being sent there. It's international prisoners. But why those countries? Hold on just a second, folks. Well, shoot, folks. Sorry about that. I might have to call this really quick. I just had a urgent work thing come up, but I would keep an eye on this. Now, a lot of people are concerned. I know Livingston Man was kind of worried about. Yeah, I'm in a timeout. I had urgent call. I'm on call tonight, so I was like, I left the office a little early, but it was like subject to getting phone calls. So, ta-da. In any case, I would keep an eye on some of the following things. One, who are they sending over there? Two, why those countries? And I haven't been able to dig into it just yet. And three, is there something bigger going on? There's a really big push. And here's something that my brother brought up that I thought was very interesting, which is where we were a lot of like Al Qaeda and ISIS, those kind of people in the country and operatives. Surely they've caught some. But you're not hearing anything. You're hearing about, oh, this guy's a murderer, rapist, and we don't need them either, right? Be gone with them. But where are these guys? So the question is, one, are they not finding them, which I find hard to believe? Or two, are they catching them and keeping it quiet so as not to tip off their buddies, right? Because you think about it, if I'm in Al Qaeda and I see, my friend got caught, I'd go to ground, like I'd disappear. Or three, are they watching them? Are they watching them to see what they're doing? And I'm really curious about how that's going to play out going forward. I really think it's important for all of us to kind of keep an eye on this. Now, National Guard in Washington, D.C. technically is under the president's purview. The rest, yeah, no, I absolutely agree, let alone. And maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe they're sending them to Rwanda because Rwanda's like, you pay us and we'll keep them here in our prison, right? Because that's good for Rwanda's government. And, now they're in, their guard, what is the Angry Prepper call him, Mobutu? Their guard Mobutu is standing there with a Kalashnikov and a wooden bat. So if they don't behave, they get a beating and nobody will know because they're in Uganda. So that was Jason's fake character, right? Mobutu. Anyway, folks, keep an eye on this. Now, technically, National Guard in DC is the president's purview. Whether or not he can extend that gets into the posse comitatus, unless the governor asks him. But the governor can call their own guard anyway. So I want everyone to kind of think about this. Pay attention to these deportations. I really, really think there's something bigger going on. There's a reason certain deportees are going to their home country and others are going to Uganda or Rwanda or wherever the hell they're going. Something's going on, and I think they're trying to break these guys up. It is Mobutu. Anyway, folks, look, I got that work call, so I'm going to have to call this one short, but I want you guys to think about that. I want you guys to really consider, what is it they're doing, and where'd all the Al-Qaedas go, the operatives? We one in the news where he was like, you will know soon who I am, and then that idiot got arrested. But where are the rest of them? There's got to be more. So I'm curious where they're going. Anyway, throw your comments under the video, and I will try to get something else going later tonight. But you guys take care of yourselves. God bless and be safe out there.